Hi there, Robin here, and today we've got ourselves a full setup. We're going to be setting up a mixer, two tops, and a subwoofer. It's a complete Mackie package. The speakers are exciting because they are the 12-inch V4 series. They're brand new thumps. Also, we have the 15-inch subwoofer from Mackie. Again, their thump series, and it is their V4 series, all brand spanking new. The mixer, by chance, I had it. I moved it over here. We're featuring the ProFX10v3. Very exciting, very exciting. So we're going to be hooking up some Bluetooth to it. Now it doesn't have Bluetooth in the mixer, but we are going to use a feature that I have to make that possible. We're also going to be showing you how to set up the actual subwoofer with the speakers and making all those connections possible. So let's spin these speakers around. Let's talk a bit about the features on the speakers and how you can use those features with an actual mixer. So first of all, I'm really excited. I've had these speakers for a little while and we've gotten a chance to do an awful lot of things with it. There will be a follow-up video which shows you how to use the speakers without a mixer and the option to have it with or without a subwoofer. There's also going to be a subwoofer video as well, so let's not forget that that's coming up too. So right here, right now, we've got our back of our two speakers, so let's get around to the front side, have a closer look at this whole thing. So here we are. The mixer and speakers have all been pre-wired. This way it's easier for me to show you how to plug it in and unplug it because the wires are right here ready to go. And I can give you a general gist of where we're at right now. To get everything to work properly, I started with the actual main outs coming off the mixer. Those are running to the subwoofer inputs, A and B. Then I'm using the Highpass feature on the subwoofer. We'll talk about that in a second. Coming out of there, going to my left and right. I have also set the subwoofer in stereo, but again, we'll talk about that when we look at the sub. For inputs, I've got a microphone. Over here, I'm taking advantage of something that, some people on some other YouTube channels have talked about how to connect an external 3.5 connector, this kind of thing, to your mixer, or RCAs to your mixer, that sort of thing. If you're lucky and have a mixer like this, which amazingly enough, I think that person also had, it has this feature built into it. It's a line input, which is an actual unbalanced connection. It's a 3.5 stereo connection to go right in here. Now normally I hook everything up with XLRs, but I took advantage of that because see, this unit is RCA on the back of it and XLR. So I thought, let's give it a try. Let's go that way instead. And for such a short distance, again, if you're under 10 feet, this is an okay connection. This is fine because this mixer can take it. This little adapter here, if it wasn't here and I wanted to do this properly and I want to convert all of that, I could spend up to $100 to make it happen. But with this one plug, I can do it just like that. No problem. No extra cost, just part of that. Cable's all I need. Taking that all in consideration, no, the mixer does not itself have Bluetooth on it. That's just one of its drawbacks. But outside of that, it's got some great features on it. It's got compressors, gain controls across the whole thing. Very easy and simple to use. And it has a great USB audio interface. It's 192 megahertz with, I think, 24-bit. It's like a full audio interface built right into the unit. So no reasons to wander off of this unit here. Now I have to say I've owned this unit now for over 5-6 years since it came out originally. My unit, I'm going to be taking it apart in a future video to clean it. Simply for the fact that the longer you own a mixer, the more likely that, because the dials are always left in a certain spot, they become pressed, flattened, and basically I want to reset them and get them all cleaned up, and I'll show you in that video how to do that. But this has been a great mixer, so instead of selling it off and getting something else, I'm going to keep this and clean it up. Very nice. And by the way, it's completely usable. It's just me wanting to be a little more particular about it. So before we look at the main speaker and some of the features there, let's take a look at the subwoofer because that's where the cables went first. So again, these cables came from our main out on our mixer. That's the AB right here. And I've taken those, plugged them into here, and then I've come across on the other side and I've decided I'm using this output here, which is the high pass output. Now there's a full range output as well, which basically means anything I do up here doesn't exist. This only takes place here, not here. So if I was adding an extra subwoofer, or if I wanted to control my speaker separately without using any functionality, I can just go here and this will not interfere with what's going on with my output. This is really good if you want to hook up additional subwoofers. And again, we'll do that in another video, so this way you get a good feel for that. Now this unit also has a button up here, which is for normal or inverted, depends on your placement of your subwoofer. If you're not sure, there is an app, and I've covered that on other videos, where you can use that to see if you're making your bass sound better or worse by placing this subwoofer anywhere in particular. and this is a way to allow you to make those adjustments. Now here, this is a good option here. This gives me the ability to make this subwoofer run in stereo or in mono, depending on how I set this actual button. So in this case, I am running one sub with 2 speakers, so I will definitely be running this in stereo. Over here, we've got gain controls for the subwoofer, and because I want to be able to get better use out of my mixer, I'm going to leave the sub turned down only to 25%, not 50, which is unity, or any higher than that, but I'm leaving it all the way down here. This is because I'm not running it in a big space, but I still want to get more out of my mixer, and I'll explain that in a second. So again, let's plug these guys back in here. This is running to my left and right main speakers. Now up here, the very last button, see it says Highpass mode. I can use it in a Thump 12, a Thump 15. I can go to a Thump Go, which is the 8-inch, very exciting. And then I can go to variable. What does variable do? That gives me control of this dial right here, which is going to go all the way down from 80 all the way up to 160. Very exciting. So you can manually adjust it to where you want all by yourself. Make your choice with that dial option there. But I have a 12-inch, so I'm going to go set it right there for a 12. Now some people might think, well, Robin, I own one of the older Mackie Thumps 12-inch. And I'm going to say, yeah, set it in whatever 12 you have. If you've got the original 12 or the 112 or the 212 or any of the BTs or XT or BX models, whatever one you have. If it's a Mackie Thump 12-inch, set it in 12. If it's a 15, set in 15. They haven't been too dramatic with the amount of wattage change in their main speakers. They have made them smarter and better, but power-wise, they've left the actual master volume pretty much the same when it comes to how many wattage capability output, let's say, they have. So I'm very happy to just choose the proper size speaker and leave the rest alone. Let's take a look at the back of the speaker and talk about some of the features that you're going to find there. Now, here's the back of one of the speakers, and both, of course, exactly the same because they're the same model. Now, I did plug into the actual line 1 input right here, and right above that, there's a button that says mic or line. This is very important because this is my, if I only was plugging in a microphone, I'd want to plug it in this channel and press that button there. This allows me to change the impedance for this input, which is very important. For a microphone, you want to be able to make it more sensitive and more responsive, and you're going to want to push that button. Outside of that, never push it. If it's not a mic, never turn that on, because it may sound louder, but you're actually just stressing the system out, and that's not something we want to do. The second input does exactly the same as the first input, except they do give you the advantage of that. Hey, look at that, 3.5, your aux input connection right there. So besides combo jacks, which is what we see on both these, means 1/4 inch, or XLR, means balance or unbalanced. So input options are all there. And then you have a mixed output. That's going to take everything that we're doing here and just send it out here. Now above that, again, we saw that we have dial controls. We can adjust the gain on our first channel, on our second channel. Then we have a master volume control. Very, very important. Now the master volume control includes a third item on the speaker, which is the actual Bluetooth connection. So if you wanted to, you don't have to use it. Make sure you can bypass if you want, or maybe you're just using it for background music when you're not doing your set on stage. You can Bluetooth to the speaker by pressing the button. Now remember, you have to engage the Bluetooth. Very important. Now if you plan on hooking up 2 actual speakers together via Bluetooth using the TWS, True Wireless Stereo, you want to go to the second speaker and then engage the actual pairing option, and then come back to the first speaker and hold it down for about 3 seconds. This is to make sure that nobody, accidentally or on purpose tries to, engage something else to your system. So hold that button down for about 3 seconds and you'll do just fine. 2 of them will sync up, the lights will all match, and the music will play out on both. Now another feature that's going to line up when you do use the actual Bluetooth pairing connection between 2 speakers is these nice features right across the top actually now become synced on both. So if I press the outdoor mode, which basically adjusts the bass and mid response, so this way catering to a better sound acoustics outside, because if you ever play anything outside versus inside, you know it doesn't sound the same. So this automatically with one button push changes the overall dynamics of the speaker and the response and the way it performs when it comes to mid bass, lower end bass, and highs. So it gives you much richer, truer sound to what it would sound like indoors, even though you're in your backyard, let's say, or at a park or at a special event. Next one is music docking. Docking's great. Now I've had hit and miss success with this. So does it work? Yes, it does. Is it better than the previous versions of it? Yes, it is. And that basically takes the music when there's talking and dials it down. Now that has to be directly connected to back here. This isn't something you can do off your mixer because, well, I can't tell the difference when you're plugged in. And it also, this is the docking channel here against either the Bluetooth or the actual line 2 channel. So if you're plugging in your instruments, music, or anything like that via the second channel, maybe a 3.5 connection, and or you're using the Bluetooth option, it will dock against the first channel, which means whatever's it picks up here says, oh, there's a signal here, turn this one down. Signal, down, no signal, regular. Simple as that. My favorite feature is the Feedback Eliminator. Now the Feedback Eliminator really does an amazing job. If you didn't see my initial launch video for this product, you really want to watch that because you want to see how good this works. I'll probably have other videos, but my initial launch video has an actual chapter twice where I demonstrate this. This is amazing and it works incredibly well. If you're worried at all about feedback, you need to see that. This in action. This is amazing. I've literally standing within a foot of the speaker with the mic directly pointing at the speaker, my head in between the two, and it working just fine. Really, really impressive. Now over here, you notice I haven't set the flat, but I could set it into DJ mode, live, or Wedge. Wedge is going to acoustically set it up for the floor. Remember, because now your speaker is very close to the floor, and there's going to be response settings for that. Now live versus DJ is going to be bass response, but also the intentional spacing of a speaker. Usually when it's in live, it's further away freestanding on a stage. When it's in DJ mode, it tends to be closer to a wall, let's say 5 or 6 feet, or closer. And so they're going to make some adjustments. They're also assuming that you're going to want to have a truer to life experience here, and here you're just going to want to enhance the overall sound quality to maximize performance in the speaker. If you don't want to mess with anything, well, just leave it in flat. Flat will take care of itself. Now there is an app for it, and we'll cover that in a different video, but today it's all about hooking it up. So I really wanted to cover all these great features with you. Now important is to make choices on the volume level. Now here you're going to see that it says signal and overload. So notice, because I've decided to demonstrate this, I want more gain on my mixer, not on my speaker. So my speaker's only set to 25%. My master volumes are set to unity. So I'm not trying to add or take away anything more than what the system is going to get on its own. This mixes everything to make it one nice output. Now, if your signals are low here, you can compensate with more signal here. But you notice the key word I said was low. If you're getting good, strong signal off of these, so these lights are on like 90% of the time, and maybe we've even danced with the overload, like just a little bit, then I'm not going to turn this up any more than that. But if I'm not getting a full signal, if I'm not getting good, strong indication, then I can compensate by turning up the actual master volume. That's how you get the most out of your speaker without putting any stress on the system. This speaker sounds richer and fuller than most because of the actual features they built into it to really maximize the capability of their DSP processor inside of it and the actual D-class amplifier. And by the way, if you don't like the light on the front, just turn it off and on. That's why there's buttons there. Let's take a look at the mixer for one last time, and I'll show you how I set this up so this way we get the best sound quality out of the system and not have to worry about the system being overloaded with volume depending on your environment. So here we are with the mixer, and I've actually started playing some music on it so you can have an idea of what we're talking about. Now, very important, even though I don't have the music on very loud on the speakers, because I specifically turned the volume down on the speakers down to, maybe about 12 to 15%. So it's very, very low. I'm not pushing those at all, just enough so this way I get some volume out of the speaker so I can demonstrate what's going on here. I want to make sure that the sound quality of my music is very, very good. And for that means I need to have good definition of my music. So I have to have a good signal coming in, which I do, and then I have a good signal going into my system. So the system is the main output on top. I can see what's going on up here by looking at my meters. Right here is 0. If I was all the way down here, the quality of my sound would be so bad. And how do you end up being so low that you can hardly get any detail out of your music? Maybe because your speakers are on too loud. Maybe you've set your speakers at unity and you're going, gee whiz, I'm playing this in an environment that I really don't need that much volume, and you end up with your gain all the way here. The problem is that the quality of your music is not in high def. Quality of your music is very, very compressed. It's very, very low quality at this point. So we want to make sure that we can turn this up, get good detail in the music, and then adjust the volume on the back of the speakers to match. That includes the bass, that includes your mains. Do that across your whole mixer and you'll be just fine. So there you go, a mixer like this is 10 channels, very diverse, it's very rich in features, compressors, it's got 3-band EQs per channel so we can make each microphone or each actual music input sound as good as we possibly can make it, and then we can adjust the main volumes on the output. Very, very nice. Also offers features like having the actual control room outputs or effects send, even has headphone jacks on it. and options for our main out to be 1/4 inch or XLR. All of those features just make this a very handy mixer to have. Now again, this is just a simple setup, easy to understand, easy to use, and how much you can do with this entire system. So again, this is the brand new Mackie Thump V4 series. We're talking about their 12-inch speakers, which also come in a 15, and we're also talking about their subwoofer. So, and there we go. What we've been talking about today is Mackie's brand new V4 series thump. This is the 12-inch thumps. And again, nice, easy to use, very loud, very dynamic, very good when it comes to ease of use. Now, I have been provided the equipment because, you know, that's how we work here. I'm not an educational channel that forks out all the money for the gear. The manufacturers help support the channel and help support your learning experience. So if this video was helpful for you, please have a look at the links down below. Both the links for Mackie and for me are going to be there. So if you're looking for an affiliate link or you're looking to subscribe, those options are there. If you have questions or comments on this particular video, please let me know by putting them down in the comments down below. Well, again, I hope this was helpful. And again, this was all about setting up. If you want to learn about setting this system up without a mixer, have a look at the next video, which is going to be coming up now. And by the way, if you don't like the light on the front, just turn it off and on. That's why there's buttons there.